Hello everyone, and welcome to my CBS Y&R Full Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Victor puts the screws to Kane, as Nikki panics about her husband putting his unrighteous plan in motion. Victor blackmails Kane over his family at the club bar. Billy tries calling Sally and is forced to leave her a voicemail. He says he believes in her and hopes they can get on the same runner as a couple. Jack appears and notices his family is unsettled. Billy tells him Jill's taken a turn for the worse. Jack is sorry to hear this, and hopes Jill will hear to snapper. He suppositions it gives Billy break about accepting Kane's offer. Billy argues that his guarding Chancellor. Does Jack have further faith in Kane or Phyllis to run it? Jack wants Nikki to run it. Jack urges Billy to walk down and go visit Jill. Billy says she asked him not to come in case they fight. Jack hopes he's not choosing Chancellor over his own mama. Wants it and he wants to recognize his mama and Catherine. Billy's disrespected. He's recognizing Jill's wishes by staying down. Jack asks what if this is his last chance to make effects right? Is he willing to pass that up? Billy's late to meet Sally and spurts. Michael versus Lauren and Diane at Society. Lauren tells Michael that Jill's heart has weakened and she can't have any stress. She called to ask her about Fenmore's. The company still gives her purpose. Michael ruminates about them being so near as sisters. Diane happens along, pulls up a president, and, beaming, tells Michael he was right about Newman being under attack. Victor's company now belongs to Kane and Phyllis. Diane assures her confidant this is air. Victor deserves to reap what is sown. Lauren irks Michael by agreeing wholeheartedly. She's sure the Newman find a way to win, but she's more concerned that her hubby will get reeled back in to do commodity unrighteous. Michael says he hasn't heard from Victor. Diane and Lauren reply, not yet, in accord. They remind him how numerous times Victor has turned his reverse on him. Baldwin doesn't anticipate them to understand his connection to the mustache. His tutor has lost his life's work. He feels for what he's going through. Lauren and Diane are unmoved. The preemption Phyllis and Kane enter Victor's office, and she asks if Ashby will put a portrayal of himself up where Victor's hung. He suggests she put up a glam shot. She ploys in it all being theirs. He nods. The sky's the limit, Phyllis. She settles into Victor's president and puts her bases up on the office as they consider a press release and a name. Phyllis suggests Ashby Summers Enterprises. Kane pops her bubble by saying none of what she's imagining is going to be. Phyllis suppositions Kane is pulling rank and reminds him they're mates. Kane says they are, except when it comes to this it would be stupid to discard the Newman name. Phyllis argues, and Ashby points out he wouldn't change Coca-Cola to Kane Cola. What they do with the company is what will put their name in the books. Defying Victor, Chelsea joins Victor in the estate living room, where he assures her that he's planning retribution against Kane. Chelsea confesses that Adam told her the plan and she has a big problem with it. Victor smothers when he admits she also told Nikki, who had a great idea. Nikki strolls in and declares that her idea doesn't matter because Victor's formally set his plan in stir. Tell me what you have done with Lily and the halves, she demands. Adam arrives as Nikki complains that she can't reach Lily. She asks her hubby again and Adam chimes in that he'd like an answer to that as well. Did he use him to detect the family and execute the coming way on his own? Victor won't explain himself but isn't surprised his son couldn't keep his mouth shut. He exits, and Adam confronts Chelsea for telling his father he picked him in the reverse. She and Nikki worry about Lily and the halves. Adam's sure they're not in detriment's way. The women worry that hijacking and blackmail are illegal. Adam says they'll have to trust Victor, he's the master of this game. Agree to differ. Jack arrives at the Abbott manse, as Diane finishes a call from Kyle about their gains and consumer confidence being at each time low. They've to rebuild trust. Jack would still like to nail Victor to the wall for using that AI in the first place. He points out Diane was wrong about Michael helping. She scoffs that he was also wrong about Nikki. Jack and Diane squabble about his relationship with Nikki and his lack of belief in Michael. Diane thinks they've to accept that neither of them will ever cross Victor. Jack stubbornly says they'll have to agree to differ where Nikki's concerned. One thing they can agree on is Victor is getting exactly what he deserves. Lauren corners Billy. Billy walks into Society, where Lauren approaches him about Jill. She's so glad they're on speaking terms. She notes her family was ent over on Kane and Phyllis' power heist and she didn't say anything. Billy assures her he won't bring up Chancellor moreover. Nikki's fear back at the Newman estate. Nikki and Chelsea stew about Victor's conduct. Adam asks how they'd conceivably intermediate. Chelsea says they could move Lily. This is a good move. They've been cut out of the process so they've no idea how far Victor will go. As the women hope for full translucency, Adam wishes them luck. Nikki will keep on Victor. It's the only way to keep Lily safe. She still wants to try to get Lily to go on with this. Adam points out it may be too late. Unpleasant Victor at Newman. Kane smirks as Phyllis rattles on about her plans for the company. This is her way to say, squinch you, to all the people who didn't believe in her. Kane tells her the people who count most will know she's the woman behind the curtain. Victor walks in as Kane says, we've the power now. We're in control. Victor intones, I wouldn't count on it. Victor wants to talk to Kane alone concerning his family. Kane asks what he could conceivably have to say to him about his family. Phyllis tells Victor not to mess up her office before exiting. The final scenes at Society, Michael walks up to Lauren and Billy, whose suppositions he feels caught between his confidant Phyllis and Victor. Michael admits watching people you watch about past to pulverize each other isn't delightful. At the estate, Nikki is in full hand-twisting mode. She finds it unsupportable that she's lost Catherine's company and is now making life worse for Lily. Adam points out that none of this is her fault, it's Victor's. The women want to know how far Adam was willing to go with this at Newman. Kane asks, what about my family? Victor intones that he needs to subscribe Newman Enterprises back over to him or he'll no way see his family again. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, February 6th, reveal that Kyle Abbott and Jack Abbott will make a power play while Victor Newman cranks the heat up on Kane Ashby. For starters, Victor will add some pressure when it becomes clear that Kane isn't going to delve in incontinently. Once Victor sees that Kane might be tempted to call his Barranca, he'll find a way to up the figure. Since Lily Winters is supposedly in on Victor's plan, he might shoot Kane or intimidating communication from her. Also again, perhaps there'll be some other way for Victor to make it feel like Lily and the halves are in genuine peril. Still, it seems Kane may have a plot of his own in the workshop soon enough. Holden Novak will seek Claire Newman's backing on some kind of assignment. So will that assignment be from Kane? Maybe Kane will hire Holden to put his bond with Claire to good use and see if she can find out where Victor is hiding Kane's family. Holden may take an honest approach with Claire and wonder if she can help learn where Lily and the halves are. Claire might be willing to dig for answers, but she may play hardball and contend Holden will have to tell her the whole Los Angeles verity first. Since Claire is hopeless to take down Audra Charles, she may try to strike a deal with Holden for information. In the meantime, Y&R spoilers say Kyle and Jack make a power play, so we'll see if that ties in with their uninterrupted sweats to rebuild Jabbo. The arrestment was hard on the Abbott family business, but Jack and Kyle will do whatever they can to make sure it completely bounces back. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the Abbotts will continue to band together when it comes to any other challenges ahead, so stick with us for updates on any news that affects their family. Victor Newman did not raise his voice when he talked to Kane Ashby. That is what made it so scary. Everyone who had ever made Victor Newman angry knew that when he was calm and quiet it was worse than when he yelled. This was because Victor Newman had already thought of everything and there was no way to stop him. Kane Ashby was standing in the Newman Enterprises office with Victor Newman. The room felt powerful because of all the things that had happened there. Victor Newman looked at Kane Ashby. He did not look at the desk or out the window. It was like he could see Kane Ashby losing already. He could see the moment when Kane Ashby would realize that he had not made any good moves. Kane Ashby tried to act like he was not afraid. He pretended like this was just a normal talk between two men who wanted the same thing. He was afraid. He could feel it in his bones. He tried to tell himself that Victor Newman was not as powerful as he used to be. He told himself that Victor Newman was an old man who was not in charge anymore. Then Victor Newman said something that made Kane Ashby feel even more afraid. He said that this was not about business. It was about family. When Victor Newman said the word family, Kane Ashby's jaw got tight. He knew that Victor Newman only talked about family when he wanted to use it to get what he wanted. Kane Ashby knew that his family, Lily and the twins, were in danger. They were not things to be used to get what Victor Newman wanted. They were the important things in a game that had just become very mean. Kane Ashby tried to look calm. Victor Newman leaned in close and told him that he would lose everything if he did not do what Victor Newman wanted. Victor Newman wanted Kane Ashby to give Newman Enterprises back to him. Kane Ashby laughed. It was easier to laugh than to show that he was afraid. Victor Newman did not get angry. He just told Kane Ashby that if he did not do what he wanted, he would never see his family again. The silence after that was very scary. It was worse than if Victor Newman had yelled. Victor Newman did not need to say anything. Everyone in Genoa City already knew what he was capable of. Across town at the society bar, Billy Abbott sat staring at his phone. He looked really upset. His fingers were hovering over Sally Spectra's contact. This was a time after the call had gone to voicemail. When he finally spoke, his voice was softer than he had planned. He did not sound as tough as he usually did. He told Sally Spectra that he believed in her. He believed in them. He hoped they could get on the page before everything else around them blew up. Billy Abbott felt like he was standing in the middle of a storm that he had helped create. He had one foot in the past, one foot in a future he was not sure he deserved. When he ended the call, the quiet felt really loud. The only sound was Jack Abbott approaching. Jack Abbott is his brother. Jack Abbott instantly knew that something was wrong. He has spent his life reading Billy Abbott's expressions. When Billy Abbott admitted that Jill had taken a turn for the worse, Jack Abbott's face showed concern. He said he was sorry. He hoped Jill would listen to Snapper. Maybe this would give Billy Abbott pause about accepting Kane's offer. Billy Abbott bristled at that. He said he was protecting Chancellor. He was protecting Catherine's legacy. Jack Abbott did not argue that point directly. Instead, he asked if Billy Abbott truly trusted Kane or Phyllis to run the company. When Billy Abbott pushed back, Jack Abbott said he wanted Nikki Newman in charge. This immediately reignited tensions. To Billy Abbott, it sounded like betrayal. It sounded like Jack Abbott was choosing Victor's world over his family. Jack Abbott urged Billy Abbott to walk. He told him to go visit Jill. He told him to stop choosing business over blood. Billy Abbott snapped that Jill had asked him not to come. She did not want another fight. Jack Abbott refused to let him hide behind that excuse. He asked what would happen if this was Billy Abbott's chance to make things right. He asked if Billy Abbott was really willing to let that slip away. Billy Abbott was clearly rattled. He did not answer. Instead, he grabbed his jacket, bolted to meet Sally Spectra. Running was always easier than facing the possibility of regret. Billy Abbott was running from his problems with Sally Spectra. At Society, Lauren Fenmore was holding her coffee cup tightly as she talked to Michael Baldwin. She told him that Jill's heart was not doing well and that stress could really hurt her. Jill had called Lauren Fenmore to talk about Fenmore's because work was still important to her. Michael Baldwin was listening to Lauren Fenmore. He was not really paying attention. He was thinking about Victor Newman and the problems that he knew were coming. Then Diane Jenkins joined the conversation with a smile on her face. She said that Newman Enterprises now belonged to Kane and Phyllis, and she thought this was funny. She said it was karma. Lauren Fenmore surprised Michael Baldwin by agreeing with Diane Jenkins. She said that Victor Newman deserved what was happening to him. Michael Baldwin did not like this. Reminded them that Victor Newman had not called him yet. Diane Jenkins and Lauren Fenmore said not yet at the time. They knew that Victor Newman would not stay quiet for long. Michael Baldwin was trying to defend Victor Newman because Victor Newman had been like a teacher to him. He said it was hard for him to watch Victor Newman lose the company he had built. Lauren Fenmore and Diane Jenkins were not convinced. They reminded Michael Baldwin of all the times Victor Newman had hurt him. They told him about all the things Victor Newman had done. Michael Baldwin was torn between being loyal to Victor Newman and doing what was right. He said it was hard for him to watch the people he cared about hurt each other. He did not like it. He was not sure if he could just walk away from the situation with Victor Newman and Newman Enterprises. Phyllis Summers was really happy that she had won. She walked into Victor's office with Kane. Phyllis Summers was joking about putting a picture of herself on the wall where Victor's picture used to be. Phyllis Summers sat down in Victor's chair, put her feet on the desk. It was like she thought the chair was hers along. Phyllis Summers started talking about sending out press releases and changing the company's image. Phyllis Summers suggested that they call the company Ashby Summers Enterprises. It looked like she felt really good about herself. Then Kane told her that would be a bad idea. Kane said they would be stupid to get rid of the Newman name. Kane compared it to Coca-Cola. Kane said what really matters is not the name but what they do with the power they have now. Phyllis Summers did not like being told what to do. Phyllis Summers reminded Kane that they are partners. The way Kane was talking made it clear that there are limits to their partnership. Phyllis Summers laughed it off. You could tell she was a little annoyed. Phyllis Summers did not work hard to get to where she's just to be quiet and let someone else make all the decisions. Back at the Newman ranch, the living room was really tense. Chelsea was talking to Victor about his plan to get back at people. She told him that Adam had already told her everything. She said she had a problem with it. Then Victor got very upset when he found out that Nikki knew about it too. He was angry with Adam for telling them. He stormed out of the room without saying where Lily and the twins were. This made Nikki very scared. She wanted to know what was going on. She said that losing Catherine's company was bad, but putting Lily and her kids in danger was even worse. Adam tried to calm them down. He said that Victor would not hurt his family. Chelsea and Nikki knew that Victor could do anything when he was angry. They were worried that he might kidnap people or blackmail them. They said this was not wrong but also against the law. Adam said that Victor always thought about what he would do. He said that if Victor had a plan, it was already happening. Nikki did not want to wait and do nothing. She wanted to keep pushing Victor to tell her what was going on. She thought this was the way to keep Lily safe. Adam said that it might already be too late. At the Abbott mansion, Jack and Diane got into a fight about Victor, about Michael and about Nikki. Old problems came up again. Diane said that nobody ever really gets away with crossing Victor Newman. Jack would not give in. He said that Nikki is different. They did not agree on that. But they did agree on one thing. Victor is finally getting what is coming to him. Jack and Diane were getting ready to rebuild Jabbo. They were determined that the Abbott family would be successful again. They would not let anything get in their way, no matter what problems they had to face. The Abbott family would rise again. Victor would not be able to stop them. Jack and Diane were sure of that. They were going to make sure that the Abbott family came out on top, just like they always did with Victor Newman and his schemes not being able to bring them down. When Victor showed up at Newman Enterprises without being invited, the room got really cold all of a sudden. He stopped when Victor told Phyllis to leave and said he wanted to talk to Kane about his family. Phyllis told Victor not to touch anything on her desk before she walked out. Kane tried to sound like he was not scared when he asked Victor what he wanted. Victor was very clear about what he had to say. He told Kane that he did not really win and that he would not be in control for long. Victor Newman always comes out on top in the end. Victor made it very clear that Kane's family was what he wanted to talk about and that he was not going to let Kane get away with anything. Newman Enterprises was where Victor was in charge and Kane was a visitor. Victor Newman never loses for long and Kane was going to find that out. As the night went on, Billy found himself cornered by Lauren. She thanked him for talking to Jill. Lauren said Jill did not know about what Kane and Phyllis were doing to take control. Jill had not said anything about it. Billy promised Lauren that he would not mention Chancellor. Billy knew that there were some things you just did not do when you were running out of time with the people you care about, like Jill and Billy's situation with Chancellor and Kane and Phyllis' power grab. And in the final moments, as Michael stood between Lauren and Billy at society, admitting how unbearable it was to watch friends turn into enemies, and Nikki paced the ranch in agony over losing Catherine's legacy and potentially harming Lily, the true cost of Victor Newman's nefarious plan became painfully clear, because this wasn't just about power anymore. It was about how far one man was willing to go to reclaim what he believed was his. And as Victor stared Kane down, demanding the company in exchange for his family's safety, the question hanging over Genoa City wasn't whether Victor would win, but how many lives would be damaged beyond repair before he did, because in Victor Newman's world, victory was never clean, and survival always came with a price. And as Kyle and Jack prepared their own power play, and Holden Novak quietly began circling Claire Newman for answers that could unravel everything, the lines between loyalty, ambition, and betrayal blurred beyond recognition, setting the stage for a showdown that would leave no family untouched and no secret safe, because in Genoa City, the past never stayed buried, And the moment you thought you were in control was always the moment Victor Newman proved you never were.